Hello, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Front. My name is Joe Palmetto. I'm your host, and on this podcast and YouTube channel, we are going to talk about libertarianism. I consider myself a libertarian. What we're going to do is look at current politics, current events, and history through the lens of libertarianism. So I hope everybody's excited to do this. I think it's a fresh new outlook on things, and I hope it brings a lot of hope. And at the very least, it gets people's brain stirring for new ideas. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you like this idea and you're excited about this as I am, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's the best way to support the show. It's a free way to support the show and get me additional YouTube views. Now, many of you have likely joined me from my other social media ventures, perhaps the Common Sense Academy. I have other YouTube channels, etc. So you know a little bit about who I am. And on that note, real quick, raise your cup, your glass in the air. We like to do a sip. We do a drink together at the beginning of the podcast just to get everything moving. Cheers with me. It tastes better when we sip together. So who am I? Who is this guy to talk to you about libertarianism and politics? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I served in the United States Air Force for 4 years at the age of 19. I was an F-15 crew chief, also worked a little bit on other fighter jets, the A-10 and the F-16, did some security forces there, had an honorable discharge after 4 years. After that, I went to college at the University of Pittsburgh and I studied political science. Political science was my major. We looked at comparative politics, international politics. I also had an Asian studies certificate and studied some Asian politics as well. So this gives me a good basis for talking about politics and something that we're going to go into a lot of, which I call the four quadrants, which are libertarianism, conservatism, liberalism, and populism. And I don't think you can truly understand one without understanding the other and seeing what the alternatives are. After the University of Pittsburgh, I went to law school at the University of Duquesne here in Pittsburgh, PA. Worked as a lawyer for 10 years, so I have an understanding of the Constitution, the laws, the system of government, the structure of government, and the way that those things work. So I think I'm very qualified to talk about this issue of libertarianism. Now, there's additional reasons. Well, let me give you the reasons why I started this channel. Our political system is in terrible shape. I think everybody would agree. I believe people, young and old, are searching for new ideas and new ways to think. In America, we are confronted with a two-party system. So everything we hear is through the spectrum of the Democrats, through the spectrum of the Republicans. I want to give you a different way to think, a different way to look at things. And by studying, learning about libertarianism, you may find that you still feel comfortable with one or both of one of those parties, not both of them. But you also may find that maybe you're not, and maybe libertarianism is a place that you feel more comfortable. Libertarianism gets a bad rep. Well, maybe libertarianism has just never had the right messenger, and I think it needs a lot of messengers, people to carry its voice, so we can understand the political system as a whole much better. So I think our political system is a bit messed up right now, and I want to escape the two-party narrative. So that's one of my reasons for starting this show. Next, I want to look at the upcoming election in the United States, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, especially RFK Jr., and see which policies, what parts of their platform actually vibe with libertarianism and those that don't. RFK, I watch a lot of his interviews, and a lot of people that interview him talk to him about libertarianism. Is he really a libertarian? And where does he fall in line with libertarians? So I think maybe in one of the next episodes, we're going to look at his policy platform and see which ones jive with libertarianism and which ones don't. And I may do the same with all the major candidates and maybe even some of the minor candidates. So I created this channel because the political system is in terrible shape. We need new ideas. Number two, I want to look at the upcoming election. And finally, I want this to be a learning experience. I want people to learn about what libertarianism is. Libertarianism, I'll give you this just off the top of my head. It's a small government philosophy that maximizes human freedom and human rights. So let's look at libertarianism. And what is it? Look at it through the lens of history. How has it played a role in history? So I hope everybody here who is fed up with the current system is excited about going on this journey with me. I myself am going to learn a lot about libertarianism. I have again, I've studied it. I've read multiple books, but this will be a learning journey for me as well. And hopefully we can do interviews, have guests on, and have a whole lot of fun on this channel. So thank you everybody for tuning in to Liberty Front. I'm also not, one more thing, I'm not married to that name for the channel. So if people have ideas for names, I would love to hear them as well. But I called this channel Liberty Front because liberty for libertarianism, and this is a front for it. I'm here to advance the cause and the knowledge of libertarianism in the world. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you watch my next episode where I'm going to look at Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and what kind of libertarian politics he may or may not have. Thank you.